Hello, welcome to Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. Welcome to a review of the new War Scroll updates for Idoneth Deepkin and Fyreslayers. They have just been released. The new FOMO box, A Fury of the Deep from Games Workshop, has been released, and with that is the two new characters, the Fyreslayer character and the Idoneth Deepkin character. We've already reviewed those on a previous video. You can go watch. We've now seen the War Scroll updates for the units inside of the box as well. We're pretty certain that both these two both these two armies will be getting new battle tomes very soon, which will be informing our conversation as we go. As you can see, I'm in front of the Twitch chat right here, who will give you all of the hot goss. It seems like the new Idoneth Deepkin list will be called "The Winner Takes It Thrall." Because of the update. Now, thanks to our sister show, the AOS Coach, for providing these graphics for us so kindly, so we're able to do these shows. It's kind of like mini wargaming. You get it early, so we don't have to. So I appreciate that. I'm going to use that on all these shows. They work really well. So the updates that we've seen are to the Thralls, the Rivas, and the Alapexes. They've had War Scroll changes and also, importantly, points changes. The Thralls are the big winners out of the three. They've got 2-inch range on their weapons, which is important because they're on 32mm bases, and it means that they can do lots of attacks because previously they potentially couldn't. Depending if you didn't move them correctly because of coherency. Because coherency, got 6 more models, they had to all be within an inch of 2 other models, which is quite important, and that 1-inch reach really affected them. Now, like I've said previously before, if you're cheering this on from Games Workshop, you're wearing clown makeup, because truthfully, they need to do it to all the units that this is affected to. Gluttons, Skypikes, there's a ton of different units, I'm sure you could say. Now, Thralls have gone up by 5 or 10 points, one of those two. They've got up to 130 points, and actually they're a great unit for 130 points. 20 attacks each. They hit on 3s, they wound on 3s. They've got rend 1, and it's damage 1, unless you're fighting against a single wound model, in which case you get an additional attack each, which is 30 attacks. 3s and 3s, rend 1, which is pretty dumb because you can put that up to 2s and 3s really easy. For 130 points, that's a bit of a bargain. And that's not including the bonuses you can get from a Thrall Master, which are pretty strong. Also, if you're fighting against a unit that has got 3 or more wounds, it used to be 4 or more wounds, you can add +1 damage. You don't get the +1 attack, you just get the +1 damage. And they've also got +1 bravery for some reason, like anyone gives a fuck. Rob's YouTube mode is a wonder to behold. Thanks, Big Tom. Love you loads. So, Thrall spam is on the menu. And there's some other reasons that we know this. A lot of the content creators and also playtesters, as well as the game developers, are on Twitter. You can follow loads of them, and then basically whatever they're painting and is on their like work in progress pictures as they post them up, you can be pretty certain are going to be the new good things in the book. In some way, you could say like it's a huge advantage for playing in tournaments, but I'm not saying that. I'm sure someone would. Okay, right. Now, Marty Rivas did not get a glow up. Their weapon profile was consolidated, so they now have got 2 shots each at 18-inch range, and they move 8 inches, so it's a 26-inch range. They used to be able to run and shoot because of the tides. We no longer know if they can run and shoot because, I mean, they can currently, as right now of recording, but we don't know what's going to happen in the new battle tome. So if you like the idea of running and shooting with these guys, maybe hold off until you see the new battle tome. That's super important. 2 shots each, which means you're going to have 21 shots because the champ gets an additional attack, which is really important. And also that's true on the Thralls, so it's 21 attacks for the 130 points. So 21 shots, 3s and 3s, rend 1. Obviously, you can give it +1 to hit, or if you get within 9 inches because of a new rule, you end up getting +1 to hit as well. If you get within 9 inches, you get +1 to hit. They did, however, lose their run roll ability, which was really important for the run and shoot version of this list. But the important headline point is these guys went up. I think they went up. Did they got 55 points? They went up to 170 points, putting them in line with Sentinels. Now, some people would think that there's not a fair comparison between a unit of Sentinels and a unit of Reavers. But I think it's fine. They're all elves, so who cares? That's really important. You would say that it doesn't seem right. Maybe, as suggested in the chat, all shooting units should be 170 points, no matter what they do. They're just 170 points as a shooting unit. It also puts them at the same point with Blitzbarb Archers. So really, we have 3 units for you to kind of analyze as shooting units. Blitzbarb archers and how that keys in with their allegiance ability to be able to generate depravity points. You have sentinels and how that keys in with their ability to do mortal wounds, get rerolls to shoot, teleport, move twice, add pluses to their hit, and also pluses to their save. That doesn't include any allegiance abilities. And then these guys who could run and shoot, but you don't know right now. Yeah. Also puts them the same as Iron Drakes. That's true. Iron Drakes are probably a better comparison. About the same. And then finally, the Alapex. The Alapex. Oh, by the way, I'm pretty certain that makes Rivas like Garbo, but we don't know what the new book is going to have. And as I said before, a lot of those people who've got advanced stuff are actually painting up Rivas, so there might be some stonks in there, right? Just get that. And then finally, the Alapex, the Shark, the Dream Unit. Yeah? Like, just perfection as a model. It's a fighting unit that can also shoot weirdly. It's a gun platform that can do damage at range. Yeah. Now, when it first got its update in Broken Realms Morathi, potentially, it got a new net launcher, was able to make you not pile in, which was quite good if it hit you. Quite good. And I think the reason we've seen a huge points uptick for this to this unit is because of that. However, it has also got kind of some buffs and some nerfs. It's got +2 wounds to its wound characteristic, going from 8 to 10. Which means it can no longer benefit from the Leviathan's Drum +1 save aura. It also has gained 3-inch coherency. You can take these in units of 2, unless in the new book you can take them as battle line, in which case you can have a unit 3, which means you can have them 3 inches apart. Why this is important, I don't know. Why they've added it to units, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know why some units are 3 inches now and Gluttons are stood together like I don't know, like lads at Muscle Beach, right? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. But there you go. They've got 3-inch coherency, and there's not much to say about that apart from it shouldn't be in the game. Right, and then they've also got +1 attack on their ferocious bites from bloodthirsty predator. So they've got a buff to their melee profile, and their harpoon launcher, which probably was the actually taken unit on Alapexes, because it was 4 shots, 3s and 3s, rend 1, damage 1. It's now gone up to damage D3, which is pretty wild. Like, pretty wild. And it's also 24-inch range. Now, the main... And you can also get a unit champ for +1 attack or whatever. But the main problem is these guys have gone up to 165 points, or 5 points cheaper than Stormdrake Guard. Now, that's actually quite a lot of points. Stormdrake Guard are very good. These guys may serve a different role in an army. They might be more like a catapult that can defend a bat objective. We call them, what do we call them? Bench warmers? Sundeckers? I don't know. But basically a unit that sits on the back objective, holds the back objective and shoots over the top, if that makes sense. Maybe they could do that because they could defend them okay. They're only going to count as 2 wounds on an objective. The points hike is pretty gross. And the fact that if you compare them to Stormdrake Guard, they're very overcosted is sad, is all I'm going to say. But they've got a slightly different upper deckers. Who knows? Yeah, maybe upper deckers, lower deckers. Anyway, so there you go. Those are the updates for the Idoneth Deepkin. Thralls, get 70 of those bad boys in your basket. Rivas, sell them. Alapexes, I don't know, sad face. Is all I'm going to say. Like, initially you're like, oh yeah, extra damage. And then you see the points hike and you're like, I don't know. And also, as someone who's painting up 8 Alapexes, it's a sad day for me. Right. Okay.